Hello, hola. Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm the humble apprentice. I am your Friday host. This is season 13, week 19, and the topic for this week is mixing your Muggle and Magick friendships. I think that everybody's journey is different, and everybody has to evaluate their circumstances and what they do in their life. And also, not everybody lives in large cities. I've been living in a small town for the past, 11 years, 12 years. And I don't treat the people with kid gloves, but I do respect the fact that their exposure to outsiders is very limited. I have made very good friends here, but I can sense when people are uncomfortable with discussing certain thoughts and ideas and topics. So I don't push, I don't force them to see my side of the story. I know that they're at a certain level, and I interact with them on their level, where they're at. If they want to know more about something and they ask and they have questions, we can have a dialogue about that. We can certainly exchange ideas. But when you're just butting heads and throwing facts at each other or one-liners, it's not communication, and it's not an interaction. It's not an exchange of ideas. It's, you trying to force an idea, even if it's a fact, even if you're right. You're just trying to force it into their consciousness, and that doesn't work, And I think that it's a lot wiser to allow someone to be ready for the information, be ready to ask the questions, be ready to follow a path, that they're comfortable walking. I interact with my friends here in town, but for my magical practices, I travel and I meet up with my magical friends where, there is no forcing anybody to believe anything. It's just an exchange of ideas. It's a flow of information. It's a acknowledgement. We're all on the same thought process, It's effortless. But yes, I am in a different frame of mind when I'm speaking with my Muggle friends than when I'm interacting with my magical friends. It's very much on the three-dimensional physical realm, and talking about current events and recipes and cooking and daily activities. Whereas when I interact with my magical friends, it's about the thought process, it's about the spiritual download, it's about the magical method of, mixing herbs and working with crystals. There has been a very large surge in the Muggle community working with crystals. So that is one area where we do overlap, but it's still on a very just energetic level and not talking about the more esoteric uses of crystals and gems in magical practice. I relate my magical friends and my Muggle friends in the way that I think about my pool buddies and billiard partners and friends, and my family. I do not introduce my mom to many of my billiards buddies. Before all this happened, I was in 8-ball or pool league, and there's a lot of people that I respect, great players, that treat me as an equal because of my pool shooting abilities and not based on my gender or ethnicity. So people that I have great interactions with, but not necessarily the ones that I'm going to take to the next moon ritual. I mean, it's just a different circle of friends. Everybody has their own journey, and it's really up to you to feel them out. You can do your own sensory experience test, I suppose. You can also do pendulum readings to determine whether you can interact with certain friends, or mix your family and your magical friends. I mean, and you can expect some friction maybe at the beginning, but parents often surprise us with their ability to overlook their discomfort with our friends and give them a chance, see how they interact with one another. You're the only one that can determine who would be comfortable hanging out with whom, And I have one of my magical friends who loves to go to church and has great discussions about spirituality and religion with priests and preachers, and he loves to figure out all the commonalities between the different spiritual paths to see where we have common ground and explore those areas more fully where we can interact and work in integrating our practices into society more based on the area where I live. It's a very small town, like I've said before, and until my children are older and maybe out of high school, I'd rather not put them in the position of having to defend me. They already have to deal with growing up in a small community And really that has nothing to do with my children, they do not choose my path, and they will choose theirs when they're old enough. That's how I see mixing Muggle friends and magical friends. They all form a web in our lives. They are the threads that we pull on for support, right, in different areas of our lives. The threads that we interact with on a daily or weekly basis, they are the people that we experience life with. And I like to feel how much tension they could take. Not everybody can take the same information. Some people have a broader understanding of and perception of the world, and some just have a smaller exposure to different ideas, and they're not comfortable walking outside of that parameter. And that's okay. That's their path. That's what they've chosen to experience in this life. If they choose to walk and broaden the scope of their perception, that's also great. And if they choose to communicate with me, I'm open to that. But I don't force people to accept my opinion or my beliefs. When the person is ready to learn something, then the information comes to them. Sometimes in unexpected ways. So I do believe that energy transmits, and simply by me interacting with people, I am exposing them to my energy and my beliefs, and it's different, but it is maybe their first step, and maybe the first and only step towards a different spiritual belief. But that's okay too. Maybe that'll just be the tip of the iceberg. Maybe they will want to explore more, esoteric teachings, or energy healing, or crystal practices, or herbal magic, herbal medicine, all sorts of different ways of viewing the world. But that's the exciting part, right, for me. Finding different ways to perceive reality, or clearing up and understanding my perception of reality. Thank you for watching. May your friendships and support be strong. Have a good weekend. Have a great evening, and blessed be.